Hey. Hey. Oh, she's so wet. It really is a stormy, rainy, wet evening, and it has been all day. Hey. Oh. Mwah. So what I'm doing now, I'm just in the middle of splitting some wood. I'm going to get the fire going straight away so that I can dry off, so that Amber, my dog, can dry off, and then it means I can cook up a bit of food. Oh. So today I brought with me this piece of wood. In fact, this is called fat wood and it's full of resin. It's really good when it comes to fire lighting. To use it, well, before we get to that, what I did the other day was I just drilled a hole through it, and then I'm now going to leave this here at the camp. I'm going to make a peg for it. I'll probably make some pegs tomorrow. Make a peg for it, and then this will always be here ready to use for fire lighting here at the Roundhouse. Now to use it, well, if only you could feel how heavy and dense this wood is. Trust me, it really is heavy for what it looks. That's because it's filled with resin. Now to use it, what we need to do is shave off very fine shavings. We can either scrape our knife like this in order to create almost like a fluff or a powder or a dust, or we can use our knife and create small curls which will then bunch up and strike. I'll use our fire steel and strike onto it in order to get the resinous shavings of wood to ignite. So my preferred method is I just get as many shavings as I can together onto the table or the piece of wood that I'm shaving it onto. Sometimes they'll build up at the bottom, but that's fine because eventually they'll all just fall off into this pile, and then I'll shave more onto the pile, and then I get my fire steel out and strike it onto it and end up with a nice little flame. So I'm going for some small shavings or curls, and then I'm going for larger ones. You can see it's all curling up nicely. And at this stage, what I can then do is, in fact, I'm just going to get a few more, 5 or 6 more, and then I'm going to cut all this off into one piece. Here's my fire steel. I'll pin it down. It's going to take a few attempts in order to get this lit. But once it's lit, you'll see there's a very thick black smoke, and that's exactly what we want. Which means I can now pick this piece up. So that's the fire lighting done. Bed's made. Amber's lying on the bed. Now it's time to cook up a bit of food. So when it comes to food for tonight, I have a few different bits of food with me. Nothing fancy this time. Just some standard food to cook up over the fire. And for that I'm going to start with using a bit of hazel. So I've got 2 skewers that I've made. That's these 2 right here. And again, I've put a point on the bottom of them so they can stick into the ground, whereas on the top here I've peeled off the bark and I've put a point on them so I can thread my food onto them, because I'm going to be roasting something over the fire. Now the next thing I want to do is, I've got this longer piece of hazel and I want to try and create a skewer, but I want it to be quite flat, but then maybe 3 or 4 millimeters wide, and that's on the thinner edge. So I've gone down on this side, almost planed down the top of it, a bit of a knot there, in order to try and make it as flat as possible, and then I'm going to be doing the same to the other side. So I'm going to flip that over and do the same. This is a bit tougher actually, it's seasoned. This has been in the wigwam shelter, so it's quite dry, it's probably been there for a few months. Therefore it's a bit harder to shave back with a knife, especially when you hit one of these knots. Doesn't have to be perfect when you're making one of these. And then simply just put a point on the end of it like that. So I'm just building up the fire. In the meantime, I'm going to start preparing the food by threading it onto those wooden skewers that I've just made. But before we do that, it's time to take off my jacket, now that it's starting to get quite warm in here. And then get a little bit comfortable with one of these. These little ketchups, they're a great way of transporting what you normally have as a bottle of ketchup to your camp. And one of my favourite things of all time, crispy onions. These are great with hot dogs. Mmm. 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 Ketchup, mustard, and crispy onions. Oh, you can't go wrong. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Mmm. Mmm. So good. Wow. Well, it's quite late. It's probably, I don't even know what time it is, but the sun went down many hours ago. Hot dogs were perfect, really enjoyed them. The chicken was great, really juicy. I love cooking chicken that way, and what I did, as you saw, I just skewered the chicken onto the hazel stick and they just slowly cooked. In fact, they took a lot longer than you probably think because they were just slowly cooking. They weren't directly over the coals, they were just warming through, and they were absolutely perfect, cooked all the way through. The bones were super hot, which tells us that the meat was cooked. Yeah, really enjoyed it, and I'm running out of candle light, so I'm probably going to finish this beer and head to bed, I think, because tomorrow I'm going to get up quite early and there's a few jobs I want to do. One job I want to do, like I mentioned earlier, is I have that piece of fat wood which I used to create the fire, well, to light the fire tonight. I want to create a bit of a coat hanger. So I'm going to create a few coat hangers, I think, not just for the fat wood, but for my bag, to get my bag off the floor, just to hang things around camp. So yeah, I've got a few ideas for that. Might take me a couple of hours, but I'm really looking forward to it. Well, that is it. Time to go to bed. So I'll see you all in the morning. Hey, come on then. Jump up. Jump up. Lazy. Why have you always got to squash me? Come here. Why have you always got to squash me? Hey, do you know what I think we're going to do? We're going to make you your own bed. Hey, would you like that? Would you like your own bed? Should we make your own bed? Oh, alright. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Well, good morning. It's another day in the woods. Still a little bit windy. You might be able to hear the wind noise now. I slept really well actually, although I did wake up in the middle of the night once because it was so windy and I was just worried about a tree or something falling on the shelter. But I've had a look around, I've done the damage control and there's no damage to report back, so it's all good. Amber's down there trying to dig a hole. Cup of tea. I'm not really a coffee drinker, so yeah, cup of tea, Then I'm going to cook some food up, and as I mentioned last night, I'm going to make a few practical things for inside the roundhouse. I'm going to make a few coat hangers, pot hangers, bag hangers, anything you can hang things on. I want to make them and stick them in around the roundhouse because I think that'll be a real useful thing to have. Well, you can see how stormy it was last night. This tree has fallen within the last 12 hours. Maybe that's what woke me up in the middle of the night. Well, at least we've got plenty of firewood. I need to remember to bring the big saw next time I come to the woods. Oi, get down! Get down! Well, you can probably tell what I'm making and how these are going to work. I'm going to be nailing them, putting a nail in the top and in the bottom to the upright posts that go around the roundhouse. And comment below if you know what species of wood I've used for these. I've been putting that job off for a long time, mainly because I didn't have a nail long enough. Nice. One other idea I've got is just to put a backing on this chair, because you might remember last time I used the back of the chair, hello, for the new table that I made. So I might get a bit of hazel and just put a few, maybe just three cross sections, oh, I'm getting pushed over here, 3 3 cross sections there on the back. Watch out. Dangerous, Amber, that's dangerous. Well, that works. Hey, yeah. Oh, and you want to sit, of course you do. Of course you want to sit up here. Come on then, jump up. Well, if you haven't seen how I made this chair, this bushcraft chair, then if I forget to put a link up here at the top of the screen, then check out my videos and you'll see about a year ago that I made a bushcraft chair. Right. Come on then. Right. Now that's done. It's time to get the coat hangers, or the hangers, up on the wall inside the roundhouse. So I think I'm going to start by putting one right here. And then there's this, the piece of fat wood that I'm going to leave here at the camp. Well, that is it for this video. Once again, thank you for watching, and if you like this content, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. If you've got any ideas for other builds and things to do around the camp, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. You want to go home? Come on then.